So hi, I'm Ken Maynard. I'm a Vice President for Wireless Managed Services at Globecomm. And I want to just give a brief introduction about who Globecomm is and what we do. So Globecomm is basically a system integrator. We are value-added reseller and managed service provider. And we currently are focusing on global connectivity through our fiber and satellite network that we have. We have a true global thumbprint. So we have service anywhere from the poles, completely global coverage around the world. We have our operations, sales, and engineering services in the U.S., Europe, South Africa, Asia, and Middle East. We have in the U.S. sales offices and operations in Hauppauge, New York, which is our home office, and then also down in Fredericksburg and Laurel as the government bases. We have sales offices kind of regionally throughout the U.S. as well. We provide managed services over our existing infrastructure using our satellite network and our fiber network that's global. Right now we are selling quite a bit of IoT over L-band satellite, and we provide services with both L-band and cellular dual mode technology, and we're going to talk about that in this interview with John Giese. But our focus right now is satellite cellular, oil and gas, transportation, maritime, and enterprise. We're getting a lot of traction. I don't know the exact number of devices that we're actually touching right now, but we're probably in the 400,000 to 500,000 range, I would think. Our verticals within Globecomm are media services, broadcast, maritime, and enterprise, also the government, business, and then wireless. The team that you're talking to today are all part of the wireless organization, and we've done the traditional hosted services where we do switching for rural carriers. That's why we're here at the CCA show. The focus over the last 10, 15 years has been a little bit towards the larger carriers acquiring a lot of the smaller. There's been a lot of aggregation going on, but there's also a few new players in the business. But we have a good strong base of carriers that are our base for wireless, and then we're adding on new services, and we're trying to focus on the value add things that we can do, and IoT is certainly a big part of that. The things that we are selling in our wireless division now, besides the hosting switch services, are satellite backhaul, disaster recovery applications, network extensions, and private LTE networks. So we can design, deploy, and actually switch our own networks, and we've done that quite a bit. And then also, the focus then is really on the new IoT business as well. That's about it, I think, for me.
Can you share a little bit of background on the company, just a little historical overview?
Sure. So,
will you take a step back a little bit again first? I'm actually going to just point this right like that. Let me make sure you're...
You want to reshoot any of that, let me know. I stumbled a little bit a couple places, but...
I can kind of cut around that with some B-roll. All right, go ahead. Tell them.
So, to explain a little bit about, where Globecomm came from and our history. Globecomm started in, I think it was 1994. It was started by one of the founders of satellite transmission systems in New York, and it was Dave Hirschberg was actually the founder. From that company, they started satellite services and managed services and infrastructure builds. And they started selling to the government, they started selling to enterprise. A lot of our traditional customers have been JCPenney, Bank of America, the Federal Aviation Administration's network that Hughes runs, we are actually the VSAT provider for that, and we have all the primary. We have some primary and all of the backup network for air traffic control. Runs over the satellite network here in the U.S. We have a maritime group that was founded. Actually, we acquired a company, and that's been added to the company in more recent years. But we actually did a project where we put base stations on each of the container ships for one of the major companies here in the international. Let me start over with. You have to add that bit. So we have a business that we started with in the maritime sector, where we're actually providing a GSM base station on all of these big container ships, and we provide a IoT connectivity to the refrigeration units to monitor and keep those online. That goes over our satellite network back to a teleport, comes over fiber back to New York to our operations center, and that data is all passed off back to the home network. So that's a major player. We have literally tens of thousands of devices that we're monitoring in a managed network service for the end customer. We traditionally have had broadcasts that we've done. We've done a lot of the broadcast centers for satellite front ends for Bharti over in India. That was a big one. We've done air traffic control head ends over in Egypt. We provide a lot of big satellite head end, front end infrastructure things that we actually build, test, and then ship out of our New York facility. And the government space has actually done a lot of integration for government platforms on the go. We've done various flyaway systems, and we do actually carry and manufacture and build some of these flyaway systems for disaster recovery and different things. A lot of them go to the military for special ops and that sort of thing. So Globecomm has grown over the years, and broadcast become a pretty big deal. We have a few things that we actually manage the whole tape ingestion and play out for some of the programs that are like QVC and things like that on the air. We also actually host Showtime, and they're embedded in our facility, and that's one of the big businesses that we support today. So those are a lot of the things that we did, that we founded. More recently, we went from a publicly traded company to a private equity company, and we are kind of focusing on providing global coverage, any kind of connectivity that goes over a data stream, internet protocol. It's everything that we handle. We touch traffic in the IoT space, monitor controls, asset tracking, oil and gas applications, old SCADA networks. All those things are coming over our network. And now we're overlaying media and some other things on there as well. So we move data from one point to the other. Our new kind of jargon that we go by is connectivity from anyone to anything, anywhere, and that's really what we're doing.
My name is Satya Maruthi, and I'm a relatively new sales engineer at Globecomm. I have a background in satellite technology as well as cellular technology, almost evenly split. And part of what I do at Globecomm is to help customers come up with the right solutions for both satellite or wireless, or both, depending on what the customer needs are. So the white paper came out of what I've been observing as a necessity in the market. Since the dawn of 4G being launched and being rolled out, everyone expected a boom in capacity, but what really happened was still 10 times, 100-fold more than what they truly expected. So the need to feed that capacity has been growing rapidly, and with 5G, it's only going to get 100 times worse, quite frankly. So what we have been able to provide to some service providers and to other customers is a path for being able to grow this, especially in being able to grow capacity, especially in regions where you don't have fiber, where you don't have established terrestrial connections, which is still a significant part of the country. Globally, it's still a significant part of the coverage needed. So we have sort of services and solutions that would be able to provide a pretty decent sized pipe through using satellite or microwave. And what we've seen is satellite backhaul has been around for 10 years or so. It's a pretty mature technology, but we're actually seeing a lot more cost effectiveness come through. The compression technologies have become much more effective. The overall cost of the solution has become much more effective and competitive. So when carriers want to look at the middle of the country, they want to look at places where fiber may never be an option for the next 5 to 10 years, it's still viable to look at satellite or microwave combined with satellite. And then there's the additional aspect of the front haul with 4G and 5G. Now you have a huge capacity requirement on the front haul, not just the back haul. And again, technologies like microwave and satellite can play a part of that as well. So the paper focuses on trying to identify what those issues are, and also providing a solution in terms of technology as well as services that can be rendered to meet that divide in capacity. And we expect this, it's pretty bad today, we expect it to get much, much more complicated and worse when 5G rolls out. So we're kind of preparing for that eventuality. So the announcement focused on some of the details from the white paper. For the front haul, we are looking, which is basically eCPRI or CPRI, we're looking at possible solutions provided through a microwave solution. If satellite makes sense, satellite as well. Definitely on the backhaul, we're looking at a combination of both those solutions and being able to aggregate your capacity at those sites using that. Globecomm has a history of providing managed services, pretty significant history, so it's really adding a couple more applications to that portfolio. And we've already had some success with it. We're hoping to grow that success moving forward. It's still primarily going to be able to provide a bigger capacity in locations where you won't be able to. I mean, they start talking about ubiquitous coverage with 5G. You definitely need ubiquitous satellite coverage to be able to provide ubiquitous coverage through 5G. So a lot of the data that people will be running, a little bit higher latency or low latency with microwave, that will be happening over satellite in the next 5 to 10 years, if not longer for sure. Yeah, absolutely. The technology has been evolving, and the economies of scales have been kicking in, specifically with regards to earth stations and technology on that side. The satellites are becoming more cost-effective themselves. If they make them shorter life, they also make them cheaper to go with that shorter life, so they can replace them relatively quickly. But I think if you take an overall satellite system, compared to where we were, say, 15 years ago, compared to now, one, the bandwidth capacity has grown 100-fold, while the cost has probably come down 50 to 60-fold at the same time. So it's a significant difference in the price, your bang for buck, so to speak, with satellite technology. And that's where the maturity comes in, being able to provide that connectivity in maritime world, on planes, as well as in these remote locations where you don't have anything else. The white paper is available on the Globecomm website. It's called Taming the Capacity Beast, and it's specifically focused on how to provide front haul and cellular, backhaul, cellular capacity through satellite and microwave.
My name is John Giza, Director of Sales Engineering for Globecomm Wireless and IoT. So from a Globecomm perspective, we're really looking at satellite IoT as our differentiator in the market. In other words, there's a lot of people that can offer IoT services across the board, but when you lose the connectivity, there's that 10% or so of the area that can't be covered by your traditional terrestrial circuits. That's really the area that we're marketing and we're working in. Well, we've always been a very big maritime customer, or I should say, we've always been a very big maritime supplier of tracking services and or maritime services in general. I believe the number is like 90% of all maritime communications in the world is run through Globecomm, to be honest with you. What we're seeing nowadays is what's old is new again. Some of the pipeline services, oil and gas, things of that nature, SCADA replacements, heavy equipment, asset tracking, areas like that. What makes Globecomm unique is the ability for our IIoT platform to be able to offer a seamless application for both cellular and satellite. Basically, the ability to aggregate data between the various L-band satellites in there. The ability for our Tier 3 customers to utilize their spectrum for all different areas is the key thing for us. From a Globecomm perspective, we can offer the standard hosted services, as well as possibly offer them another avenue to gain revenue through asset tracking and or sensor data, whatever they might need basically out there. Something that's not just related to your cell phones and data.